Hello and welcome to part 4 of GodIsAGeek.com's coverage of the Capcom Arcade Cabinet. The first game that we're looking at is Savage Bees. Sounds savage. It's a strange game. Savage Bees, when I first started the game up, I expected it to be controlling a bee or something. It's weird. It's one of those games, again, that I haven't had the pleasure of playing before. But I do like these top-down vertical scrolling shooters, and this is probably one of the best that I've played. Actually, the levels seem a little bit long, as you'll see. They do get a little bit long, but it's an enjoyable game to play. The movements, the controls are fine. I mean, they feel a little bit difficult compared to some of the later Capcom games. I mean, it is one of the early ones, so when you're moving around, everything's always the same speed. It doesn't quite seem to move as fast as you'd want it to. So if there's a bullet coming towards you, the instinct obviously is to move out of the way. That's not always possible. Sometimes you just can't move away fast enough, and you just have to take the hit. Another thing as well is that I wasn't expecting them to start coming from behind me. It's another reason why the moving out of the way isn't always great, because they seem to move faster than the player does. So if you're right down at the bottom of the screen, which I tend to do when I'm playing this type of game, just stay at the bottom of the screen to give me the most amount of time to see things coming towards me, because 90% of the time they're coming from the top of the screen. So the fact that I'm at the bottom of the screen most of the time means that I take the hit from the things coming from the bottom of the screen, because I just can't move away fast enough. These little strange bonus areas are fun. I mean, as you saw, I picked up a like a power-up thing, and they all turn to fruit, as they have done again then, which means you can pick them up instead of having to shoot them, which is weird, especially seeing as the pickup that you have to collect to make them turn into fruit isn't, it's not fruit shaped or anything like that, so it's kind of shocking to pick up a power up that you expect to just give you more weapons, faster weapons, more powerful, turn everything into a fruit. It's a little bit weird. You'll see those stars pop up as well throughout the level. They had like the little star that you can see in the bottom centre of the screen. It's kind of, I would say, reminiscent, but this is way before anything like Angry Birds or something like that, with the 3-star system that everybody knows that I love from Mobile Monday. I also like how I talked about it, what game was it recently? Was it Section Z, Section Z, that just kind of, all the levels kind of merged into each other. You didn't go to a loading screen or anything like that. And this is very similar to that, in the sense that you just go straight to the loading screen. Or don't go to the loading screen. You can see the where the bees come into it, obviously, with the enemies, and the hexagonal hive makeup in the background. But that's really the only thing. It's not, a little bit of a strange title. The other title for it is Exodexes, which, reading up on the blurb, I'm sure you saw at the beginning of the little video for this game, seems to be the location that you're going towards, the main base. Which is a better name for it. Exodexes sounds fun to say. Savage Bees just sounds weird. Sounds like it's going to be an evil version of Caterpillar. The idea of collecting fruit is strange as well in this type of game. I mean, you see it in casual games, you'd see it in Wonder Boy and Mario and stuff like that, but collecting fruit in a top-down scroll is strange, but whatever. Early days of Capcom, I suppose, so you work with whatever sprites you're given. You don't ask questions. It's is a fun game to play, though. The only real downside to it is the movement of the ship seems a little bit clunky compared to, not even compared to nowadays, but compared to other games that are in the arcade collection. I still have no idea what that power up does. It's kind of, you press A on the controller and it just flashes the screen, but it doesn't seem to defend against anything or kill anything. So at one point I just started pressing it vigorously to see if anything happened, but still no idea what it did. I'm sure somebody can correct me and say that I was using it wrong, but there's no instructions with the Capcom arcade cabinet, so you kind of have to figure it out as you're going along. End boss down, and that's Savage Bees. Speed Rumbler. Now this is an interesting game. It reminded me of Spy Hunter. As you'll probably be able to tell why it reminded me of Spy Hunter. Well, there's some definitely interesting things with Speed Rumbler, and like main of the things that interested me was the fact that, well, the controls seem way ahead of their time. There's like sliding mechanics. You slide around corners instead of just abruptly moving through corners. So that surprised me to begin with. The idea that you've got a certain amount of time, I think it's is it 24 hours, 48 hours? Something it said at the beginning, but I wasn't reading it. You got a certain amount of time with which to track down the people that you're trying to track down. So you kind of split your time in each of the levels with trying to collect everything, which obviously takes time, but also trying to get to the end as quickly as possible, because the last thing you want is to get to the end or get towards the end of, like, run out of time with a couple of levels left. You should speed run the last levels and not collect anything, so you kind of have to balance your time between collecting as much of the items as you can do, but while also getting to the end in a decent enough time to give you the time to get to the end of the game. You want to go around each of the levels, destroying the enemies. You see them in buildings and trying to chase you down, and in cars and everywhere, and also driving around trying to find the little bunkers that have help flashing above them, which are the people that you need to rescue. So you just need to shoot the bunkers, and then the person inside will come out and you have to drive over them to collect them. A lot of the times the people inside the bunkers will also have something, so those guys just had points just then. Sometimes they'll have a little spanner that they're holding up which repairs your car, or as that, a little speed up. So there are benefits. You don't have to collect them all the people in the bunkers, but it adds to your score, and it's also a benefit when it comes to like repairing the car and things like that. But basically the goal of each of the levels is just to collect as many of those people in the bunkers as you possibly can, while also just getting to the end of the level through the gates at the end. You'll see the time that you're taking to complete the levels in the top right hand corner. So at the moment I'm on like 1 minute 45. That is a cumulative score, like I said, well, cumulative time. So when you get to the end of this level, it'll say how long it took you, and then you'll see how long you've got left, and that's the countdown timer for the rest of the levels. So you've got to, as I said, balance your time, which is an interesting concept for a game that came out in 1986. But it's definitely one of the games in the Capcom Arcade Collection that has held up over time. A couple of them feel dated now. They're still enjoyable games, but they feel dated. This game, Speed Rumbler, is one that looks dated to an extent, but it doesn't really feel dated. Bug there in the sense that Peace Village is spelt wrong. Try not to notice that, but you know, I notice these things. So yeah, it tells you at the end there how much unused time you've got. It's basically how much time, 24 hours minus the lap time for this level. It also shows you a list of the levels that you got to get to. That's one thing that I didn't know, well, when I started this level, is that I thought it was just an on-foot level. Like the last one was a car level, this one's an on-foot level, but that's not the case. You can choose to either stay in the car all the time or get out and go on foot, which is another thing that's just unheard of at this time. I mean, I remember when Driver 2 came out and you could get out of the car, and it blew my mind that you could get out of the car in a driver game. It is much easier, especially in these earlier levels. I don't know what it gets like in the later levels, but in these earlier levels, yeah, stay in the car, because with people driving around like maniacs, you will die if you just try to walk around. Also, the point of the game is to try and get to the end of the level as quickly as possible, so why wouldn't you stay in the car? So yeah, there is a point, if you look on the health bar, he gets back in the car. So on the health bar you can see the part where it's red at the bottom. If you take too much damage and you get to the red part, the car will set on fire. And then you've got a limited amount of time, because that bar seems to go, the red part of the bar seems to go down fairly quickly. So once you get into the red part, you've got a limited amount of time before you blow up. So you're gonna have to try and find some health, or find one of those guys with the spanners to repair the car. Otherwise, yeah, you'll die and you go back to the last checkpoint. And there does appear to be checkpoint systems as well, so you're not going to be starting from the very start of the level. It's just from the last checkpoint. The checkpoints aren't signposted in any way, really, so you're just going to have to hope that you have passed one. But they are there, and they seem fairly regular. I think around here is the part that I figured out that you couldn't drive into the water, you couldn't drive over the water. Yeah, there we go. I thought that little pool looked small enough that it would allow me to drive over it, but yeah, not the case. Touch the water, you die apparently. But as I've said before, with these Capcom Arcade Collection, you learn by playing, and that's half the fun, really. I love that music. It's so old school, and it doesn't fit with the game at all. It's out of place. It's amusing. But yeah, that's Speedrunner. Last game is a game that the bane of my childhood. It seems I used to play this game all the time, Commando, all the time, and I was not good at the game. I don't even know if I, as a kid, ever got past the first level. I don't remember. So long ago, I didn't even have it on. I don't even think my version was colour. I think I had it on Spectrum, maybe. I think it was Spectrum ZX, and I don't think it was in colour. I could be wrong about that. It is a very, very, very long time ago, but I don't remember it being as vibrant as this version of it. But yeah, even in this Capcom Arcade Collection, it's not an easy game at all. There are sections. I mean, it's not too bad in this early level, this first level, but there are levels in this game where you just, because the bullets are literally like a pixel in size. So being able to see that in most like top-down shooters, the bullets will be like orange and quite big and circular, so you can see them coming. In Commando, they're small, white, and when you're in like desert levels, they're almost impossible to see. So you get to try and avoid them, because one hit and you're dead. You go back to the last checkpoint. Yeah, try and avoid everybody, shoot everybody. One thing as well is it's not twin stick, which I was kind of hoping that they would have added, and I know that it would have detracted from the whole reminiscent experience of it all, but yeah, it's not twin stick, so you will always shoot forward, so you got to try and like shoot while moving the left analog stick, but moving that will also move your character. So if you're trying to like dodge the incoming bullets, you're going to shoot in the direction that you're dodging. So if there's somebody above you, but you need to move right, you'll start shooting right, and you won't be able to shoot that person that's above you anymore. So it's kind of a balancing act between moving out of the way of bullets and trying to shoot the enemies. And there are a lot of enemies. Still an enjoyable game though, even though it is brutally difficult. I was so good at that last grenade that landed on top of me, but while I was moving towards, like, it goes onto autopilot when the doors open and you move towards it. I was so glad that bullet didn't kill me. I would not have been happy. So this is the kind of level that I was talking about, where the ground is not the same colour as the bullets, but it definitely doesn't help the bullets being white and the background being a light colour. Definitely doesn't help, so this level is, yeah, a difficult level. Enemies coming from everywhere as well. You got to watch. You not only have you got to watch for the bullets, you got to watch for the grenades that just seem to be constantly in the air. Those guys on the bridges as well that you can't shoot unless you use a grenade, I suppose. But yeah, they're throwing grenades at you, but it's difficult for you to get them. Yeah. The dynamite as well that are being thrown from the back of the trucks is almost exactly the same. I mean, I said that the bullets was hard. The dynamite being thrown from the back of the truck is almost exactly the same colour, like the same brownish colour as the background. They're impossible to see when you're trying to look at all corners of the screen at the same time. Yeah, this part isn't easy. Definitely not easy. You got to contend with the people coming out of the doors at the top, while also trying to avoid the mortar fire from the people on the left and right hand side that you can't shoot. Or you can't kill, you can shoot, but it's not going to do it. So you got to just try and avoid the plethora of bullets and grenades and everything. Oh, it's nightmare. But it is a feeling of satisfaction when you do finally get it down. But that's Commando. Check back next time, 2 weeks time, for the 5th Capcom Arcade cabinet from God is a Geek. Bye.